Okay, here it is, the Cyclamatic Power Plus model Cycler PP, better known as the e-bike. This is the £399 electric bike. I was intending to buy a Go Cycle, and then when reading reviews of it I saw this one. The Go Cycle is currently £1,149. This was £399. Obviously it's not going to be as good, but it looks a bit more like a real bike as opposed to some space age thing. This is it in the box, just been delivered. I'm going to unpack it. Okay, there it is. Box is open. Let's get it out. It's all wrapped up rather nicely. There's a box of bits there. Okay, mudguards are on. I'll lift it carefully so I don't leave anything behind. It's quite heavy. Better off doing this with two people really. So one of you can hold the box. And there it is, out of the box. Still a few bits left in there, like the saddle and the pedals. A few little bits right at the bottom of the box: saddle, post, and instructions. Okay, let's get rid of the box and then we'll start unpacking it properly. Okay, so there it is, out of the box. Box is out of the way. As you can see, back mudguard is on it already. Everything's attached with cable ties, so I've got to carefully cut all those cable ties off. One thing I did notice when I took it out of the box, it is quite heavy, which was the only downside comment that I saw on the reviews on the bike, that it is quite heavy. Obviously, I believe it's an aluminium frame as opposed to an alloy frame, so the frame itself is going to be a bit heavier. And of course, you've got that big drive wheel on the back, and of course you've got the battery, which I believe the battery is a lithium-ion battery, which is lighter than the standard lead-acid batteries. That I believe is the one that the Go Cycle use. The new Go Cycle, this Go Cycle G2, I believe it's called, uses this same battery, which gives you longer distance. There's no memory on it, so therefore the battery will last longer. You get longer distance, and I believe it's lighter as well. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take off all the bits and pieces. I'm not going to read the instructions yet because I'm a bloke and you know we don't read manuals. So once I get to take all the bits off, then I'll have a little look through the manual and we'll put it together. Hopefully there'll be some charge in it and we can have a little ride later. So okay, so the first stage, once you've got it all unpacked, is to fit the front mudguard. Now the front mudguard fits through the brake caliper like that. There's a bolt already on it, and it fits on, if you can see, in there. Now that was really awkward. That's taken me about 10 minutes to do that. I had to actually go out to my garage and get a pair of mole grips to grip that side with while I was doing the nut up. Very awkward. So that's taken 10 minutes to do that. Next thing to do is put the front wheel on. So I've put the quick release mechanism on the wheel, and I've now... Okay, front wheel is on. The only problem I had there, which I obviously knew from previous experience, was to get the wheel past the brake pads, you have to release that. You have to release the cable by undoing that nut with an Allen key, because otherwise they're too the brake pads are pushed in far enough to be able to touch the wheels, and of course the tyre comes out further than that, and you can't get them apart to get the wheel through the brake pads unless you loosen the brakes off. So that done, quick release mechanism is done up, which is imperative. You do it up reasonably tight and you make sure that when that is done up, it's quite difficult, it's done up level with the frame. It does say that in the book, but that is quite an important thing you need to do. That's that done. Now I've got to tighten the brakes back up. Wheels on, and the brakes are now adjusted. I've tightened them back up. What I did have to do, this brake pad appeared to be slightly too high. It seemed to be fouling the tyre a little bit. So what I had to do was loosen that nut, and it moves it up and down. The other side's okay. I think this brake pad might be binding a little bit, so I may well have to adjust that afterwards. What I did do before I even got the instructions out was I put the handlebars on. Handlebars, you take that off using 2 Allen keys provided. One good thing about all this bike, apart from the mole grips that I had to get out of the garage, all the tools are provided. It's actually a very, very good tool set. 2 Allen keys, loosen those, take them off, place the handlebars in, put that top piece back on, do them up. It has to be quite tight. Back to the manual. I think probably the seat is probably the next pedals on. I don't think it's very clear at all really, but it says in the book that make sure you identify which pedal's which, left and right, because the left hand pedal has a reverse thread. I was looking all over, I didn't read it properly, I was looking all over the pedal, couldn't find it, but apparently you can't see it on there, it's stamped on the end of the pedal there. Very difficult to see, but yeah, that is quite important because you'll mess the thread up if you don't. Pedals are on, seat's on, seat adjusts with a quick release, which is very, very easy to put on, obviously quite easy to take off as well if someone wants to steal your saddle. Access to the battery, there's a little lever there, you tip the seat forward. I believe you can, I don't think you have to take the battery out to charge it, but I haven't looked that far forward. The manual's actually quite good, although the bike's made in China. Don't let that put you off, of course, virtually everything's made in China these days. It actually looks really well made, and the manual itself is actually very good English, not in the normal sort of broken English that you normally get things made in China from. So tip the seat back, that locks into place. You have an ignition key, how exciting. You actually get 2 keys, keep one as a spare obviously. So put the key in the ignition, turn the ignition, have I done that right? Yep, turn the ignition, and then when we go up to here you'll see you have the lights. Green light means fully charged, orange light means half charged, red, let's guess shall we, that means empty. You can turn the power on or off somehow, I don't quite know how that works. And you have I'm not going to do it because the wheel's going to go round and the bike will end up in my kitchen, so I have tried it, but at the moment I'm only using one hand, you see, so I lifted the bike up, pulled the throttle, and the back wheel went round with no effort from myself. So that's pretty much it, I think. I may need to adjust the brakes possibly, may need to adjust the gears possibly. Apart from that, look, even comes with a water bottle. How cool is that? Let's show you around the other side. Back mudguard, that was already on. Gears look pretty good, Shimano gears. Look at that hub. I wouldn't want to particularly be taking that back wheel off, I have to say. So I don't quite know what I'd do if I got a puncture. There is that downside. I think you can get stuff that goes in the tyres to make the tyres puncture proof. I think I might buy some of that. But all in all, I'm actually quite impressed with it so far. I know I haven't been out on the road with it yet, but I can't wait to try it. If only I could take my camera with me. So that's basically it. I suppose it's taken me about three quarters of an hour. Yeah, about 45 minutes to put it all together. Manual's pretty clear. The only tool that wasn't supplied was a spanner for the pedals. As I'd got my mole grips out of the garage, I used those. But apart from that, pretty good. As I say, I may need to adjust the gears and the brakes. Certainly the front brake anyway. Yeah, all will be revealed after I've written it.